London. London is the capital city of England and the United Kingdom. It stands on the River Thames and is the largest city in the country. London is the seat of the monarch, the Parliament, the government, the Supreme Court, and the Church of England. London is the center of cultural, political, and social activities. Tourists come here to visit monuments, museums, galleries, theaters, historical sites, and parks. The city is home to about 9 million inhabitants. The most popular parts of London are Westminster, the City, the West End, the East End. History of London. The city's history is very rich, including several disasters that have affected London. In 1665, a disease called the Black Plague killed more than 100,000 people. In 1666, there was a big fire, the Fire of London, which destroyed most of the city. For example, St. Paul's Cathedral and 88 other churches. Question time, Part 1. What's the population of London? Number 2. Give some reasons why tourists visit London. Number 3. Name the most important parts of the city. Number 4. What huge disasters affected London in the past? When did they occur? Bonus question. Sum up the introduction of the topic London. Places of interest in London. The Tower of London. The Tower of London is the typical symbol of the capital and, at the same time, a top tourist attraction. William the Conqueror began to build the massive fortress to defend the city of London. It was the place of some of the bloodiest events in English history. Many important personalities were arrested and executed there. The Tower of London is now a museum where tourists go to see an arsenal of weapons and the crown jewels. The tower is guarded by the yeoman warders called beefeaters. They wear a distinctive, typical uniform from Tudor times. Beefeaters guard together with 6 ravens that are kept in the tower. Legend says that it would be the end of the tower and the kingdom if the ravens flew away. So the ravens' wings are clipped to prevent this. The crown jewels. Beefeaters. A raven with clipped wings. Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is a typical London landmark. It has 2 Gothic towers. 2 glass-covered walkways link the top of the towers to allow walkers to cross over the River Thames and give them beautiful views of the river. The bridge is raised in the middle to allow tall ships to pass up the river. Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square is the largest square in London. It's a place of political demonstrations, heavy traffic, and tourists. In the middle of the square is the statue of Admiral Nelson, who looks towards the Houses of Parliament and is guarded by the 4 magnificent bronze lions. Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey is a Gothic building with twin towers. The Abbey is a coronation church. Coronations of every king or queen, except 2, have been held there. Visitors can admire a coronation chair. This oak chair has been used at every coronation. The Abbey contains many royal tombs. There were many important royal funerals, such as Diana, Princess of Wales, and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen's mother. The Abbey is a living church. There are regular services every day. Twin towers, inside the church, the coronation chair, Queen Elizabeth I's tomb with Queen Mary I's tomb below it. St. Pauls Cathedral. St. Paul's Cathedral is the seat of the Bishop of London and the spiritual centre of the city. It is a masterpiece of a famous architect, Sir Christopher Wren, who rebuilt this cathedral and 52 other city churches after the Great Fire of London in 1666. The cathedral is built in the Baroque style. Question time Part 2. Number 1. Choose a place and give a detailed description of it. A. The Tower of London. B. The Tower Bridge. C. Trafalgar Square. D. Westminster Abbey. E. St. Paul's Cathedral. Buckingham Palace. This is the official London residence of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The royal standard flutters when Her Majesty the Queen is in residence. An inseparable part of the palace is the Queen Victoria Memorial in front of it. The statue represents the ideals of motherhood, truth, justice, peace, and progress. The 5 regiments of foot guards, easily recognized by their scarlet uniforms and bearskins, guard Buckingham Palace. The guard is changed at 11:30 a.m. This ceremony takes 40 minutes and is usually watched by vast crowds. Houses of Parliament. Houses of Parliament is the political centre of the United Kingdom, the home of the British Parliament. They were built in the Neo-Gothic style in 1840 after a fire destroyed the previous building. The complex includes the House of Commons, the House of Lords, Westminster Hall. The Great Hall dates from medieval times. Big Ben. Big Ben is a famous landmark in London. It's a part of the Houses of Parliament. Big Ben is not the clock's name, but the bell's name, named after Sir Benjamin Hall. It has been telling the time since 1859. "10 Downing Street." Number 10 Downing Street is not open to the public, and it is the official home of the British Prime Minister. Inside 10 Downing, Boris Johnson with Queen Elizabeth II. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson. The London Eye. The London Eye is the most popular tourist attraction. It is the tallest sightseeing wheel in the world. Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is a place where 5 busy streets join into the circular square. It is the most alive and noisiest place in London. It is a center of entertainment, nightclubs, theaters, cinemas, and restaurants. Many colorful advertisements light the square. At the top of the fountain, the circus center, stands Eros, the Greek god of love. Question time, Part 3. Choose a place and give a detailed description of it. A. Buckingham Palace. B. Houses of Parliament. C. 10 Downing Street. D. London Eye. E. Piccadilly Circus. Hyde Park. Hyde Park is probably the most popular among tourists because of its Speaker's Corner. It is a place where everybody can speak his or her opinions openly without fear. Madame Tussauds. Madame Tussauds is visited by thousands of visitors every year. It contains waxworks of famous world figures, for example, international statesmen Winston Churchill, Gandhi, Margaret Thatcher, sportsmen Martina Navratilova, David Beckham, film stars the Beatles, Madonna, the royal family, the Pope, and many other famous people. The National Gallery. The National Gallery contains the best-known collection of paintings, for example, Rubens, Rembrandts, Raphael, El Greco, etc. Harrods. Harrods is the world's best-known store. The store began as a small grocer's shop and at the same time it was the first store in the world with an escalator. Other big shopping stores are Selfridges, Marks & Spencer, and John Lewis. Question time. Part 3. Number 1. Choose a place and give a detailed description of it. A. Hyde Park. B. Madame Tussauds. C. The National Gallery. D. Harrods. 2. Do you know of any other attractive places to see in London? Number 3. Have you been to London? Tell us more about your trip there. Bonus question. Give a 5-minute speech on the topic of London.